Good day everyone. Today, we will discuss the video presentation showing a second language acquisition using Krashen'S hypothesis. Krashen's theories of second language acquisition consists of five main hypotheses. First, the acquisition learning hypothesis. The second is the natural order hypothesis. The third is the monitor hypothesis. The fourth is the input hypothesis, and the last is the affective filter hypothesis. The acquisition learning hypothesis, a hypothesis that forms part of Stephen Krashen's theory of second language acquisition. It states that there are two independent ways in which we develop our linguistic skills: the acquisition and learning. According to Krashen, acquisition is a product of a subconscious process very similar to the process of children undergo when they acquire their first language. Learning is the product of formal instruction, and it comprises a conscious process which results in conscious knowledge about the language. The natural order hypothesis. Learners may follow a more or less invariant order in the acquisition of formal grammatical features. The acquisition of grammatical structures follow a natural order, which is predictable. Krashen's point out that the implication of the natural order hypothesis is not that a language program syllabus should be based on the order found in the studies. Krashen rejects grammatical sequencing in all cases where the goal is language acquisition. The monitor hypothesis. The monitor hypothesis explains the relationship between acquisition and learning. The monitoring function is the practical result of the learned grammar. According to Krashen, for the monitor to be successfully used, three conditions must be met. First, the learner or the acquirer must know the rule. The second is the learner must be focused on correctness. And the last is having time to use the monitor. Krashen recommends using the monitor at times when it does not interfere with communication, such as while writing. The input hypothesis. Krashen's attempt to explain the learner acquires a second language. The input hypothesis is only concerned with acquisition, not learning. Acquisition takes place as a result of the learner having understood input that is a little beyond the current level of his competence. The input hypothesis says that we acquire by going for meaning first, and as a result, we acquire the structure. The affective filter hypothesis. Affective filter hypothesis embodies Krashen's view that a number of affective variables play a facilitative but non-causal role of language acquisition. These variables include motivation, self-confidence, anxiety, and personality traits. Krashen claims that learners with high motivation, self-confidence, a good self-image, a low level of anxiety, and extroversion are better equipped for success in second language acquisition. The role of grammar in Krashen's view. According to Krashen, the study of the structure of the language can have general educational advantages and values that high school and colleges may want to include in their language programs. Any benefit, however, will gently depend on the learner being already familiar with the language. It should also be clear that analyzing the language, formulating rules, setting irregularities apart, and teaching complex facts about the target language is not language teaching, but rather is language appreciation, or linguistics, which does not lead to communicative proficiency. The only instance in which the teaching of grammar can result in language acquisition is when the students are interested in the subject and the target language is used as a medium of instruction. Very often, when this occurs, both teachers and students are convinced that the study of formal grammar is essential for second language acquisition, and the teacher is skillful enough to present explanations in the target language so that the students understood. In other words, the teacher talk meets the requirements for comprehensible input, and perhaps with the students' participation, the classroom becomes an environment suitable for acquisition. Also, the filter is low in regards to the language of explanation, as the student conscious effort are usually on the subject matter, on what is being talked about, and not the medium. This is the subtle point. In effect, both teachers and student are deceiving themselves. They believe that it is the subject matter itself, the student of grammar, that is responsible for the student's progress. But in reality, their progress is coming from the medium and not the message. Any subject matter is that held their interests would do just as well.